From our last episode, we saw how Joseph made himself known to his brothers and told them to bring down his father to live with him in Goshen. Today we shall continue the story by reading our Bible from Genesis chapter 45 from verse 16 to 28. And from this passage of the Bible, we saw that the news of Joseph's brothers' arrival got to Pharaoh's palace, and Pharaoh and all his officials were pleased and happy. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers to load their animals and return to the land of Canaan, and bring back your father and your families. Bring them back to me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, so that you can enjoy the good of the land." Pharaoh went further by telling Joseph to direct his brothers to take wagons out of the land of Egypt. Wagons are vehicles used for transportation. So Joseph's brothers were to go from Egypt with wagons to transport their children, wives, and their father from the land of Canaan back to Egypt. He told them never to worry about their belongings, because all the good in the land of Egypt is theirs. So Joseph gave his brothers all that Pharaoh commanded. He gave his brothers new clothing, but gave Benjamin 5 sets of clothes and 300 pieces of silver. To his father he gave 10 axes with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-axes laden with corn, bread, and meat for his father's journey. While his brothers were going, Joseph told them not to quarrel on the way. So his brothers went out of Egypt and go to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. They told their father that Joseph is still alive and that he is presently the ruler of Egypt. Their father did not believe them, but when he saw the wagons Joseph sent to carry him, and all that Joseph sent through them, the spirit of their father Jacob got revived. And Israel, who is also Jacob, said, "I am convinced that my son Joseph is still alive, and I will go and see him before I die." The story continues. From our last episode, we saw how Jacob got revived and happy after getting to know that Joseph is still alive. Today we shall continue the story by reading our Bible from Genesis chapter 46 from verse 1 to 15. From this passage of the Bible, we saw that after Jacob made up his mind to go see his son, he set out for his journey and went with all that he had. When Jacob got to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And at night, God spoke to Jacob and said, "Jacob, Jacob." Jacob said, "Here I am." God told him that he is God, the God of his father, and that he should not be afraid to go down to Egypt, because there in Egypt he will make him a great nation. God assured Jacob that he will go down to Egypt with him and bring him back again, and that Joseph's own hand will close his eyes. After Jacob made his sacrifice to God, and the vision he saw from God, his sons carried him. His sons also carried their little children and their wives with the wagon which Pharaoh had sent to carry them. Jacob also went along with all his livestock and all he had acquired in the land of Canaan. Jacob and all his offspring went to Egypt. He took with him his sons and grandsons, his daughters and granddaughters, all of his offspring went along with him to Egypt. And these are the names of the sons of Jacob who went to Egypt with him. Reuben, the first son of Jacob. And the names of Reuben's sons are Anak, Palu, Hezron, and Carmel. Simeon, the second son of Jacob. And the names of Simeon's sons are Jamuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. Levi, the third son of Jacob. And the names of Levi's children are Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Judah, the fourth son of Jacob. And the names of Judah's sons are Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. And Onan had died in the land of Canaan. Perez, who is one of Judah's children, gave birth to Hezron and Hamul. So apparently, Hezron and Hamul are the great-grandchildren to Jacob. Issachar, the fifth son of Jacob. And the names of Issachar's children are Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron. Zebulun, the sixth son of Jacob. And the names of Zebulun's children are Sered, Elon, and Jali. All the names I mentioned now are the children of Leah. Leah is the first wife of Jacob. She gave birth to them at Padam Haram. Dinah was the only daughter Leah gave birth to. The rest children are male, and they are 33 in number. The story continues. From our last episode, we saw the names of Leah's children. Today we shall continue to see other names of Jacob's children by reading our Bible from Genesis chapter 46 from verse 16 to 34. And we saw that Leah had a maid who later became Jacob's concubine, and her name is Zilpah. She gave birth to two sons, whose names are Gad and Asher. The names of Gad's sons are Zephon, Agai, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, Arodai, and Arelai. The names of Asher's sons are Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriel. Sarah is the name of Asher's daughters. Beriel, who is one of Asher's sons, gave birth to Abal and Machir. So the total number of children born to Jacob by Zilpah are 16 in number. Rachel, who is the second wife of Jacob, had two sons, whose names are Joseph and Benjamin. And the names of Joseph's children are Manasseh and Ephraim. They were given birth to by Asenath, the daughter of Potipherah, priest of On. The sons of Benjamin are Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Mopin, Alpin, and Had. So the total number of children and grandchildren born to Jacob by Rachel are 14 in number. Rachel had a maid who became Jacob's concubine. Her name is Bilhah. Bilhah had two sons for Jacob, whose names are Dan and Naphtali. Dan gave birth to Oshim, while Naphtali gave birth to Jaziel, Guni, Jazer, and Shilem. The total number of Bilhah's children and grandchildren are 7 in number. Aside from the wives of Jacob's sons, 66 members of Jacob's loins, that is, his descendants, also went with him to Egypt. So the total number of Jacob's family who went to Egypt were 70. On their way, Jacob sent Judah ahead of them in order to get direction from Joseph to the land of Goshen. Joseph made his chariot ready and went to Goshen to meet with his father Israel. As soon as Joseph saw his father, he threw his arms around his father's neck and wept for a long time. Israel, who is also Jacob, said to Joseph his son, "Now I am ready to die, since I have seen for myself that you are still alive." Joseph told his brothers that he would be going to Pharaoh to let him know that his brothers and his father's household has left the land of Canaan and come to him. Joseph also told his brothers that he will let Pharaoh know that they are shepherds and that they came along with their livestock. Joseph was preparing the mind of his brothers so that when Pharaoh calls them in and asks what they do, they should tell him that right from their childhood, they and their father have been shepherds, and that will make Pharaoh allow them dwell in the land of Goshen, because every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. The story continues.